So what if the Knights of Ren, Kylo Ren's close followers or maybe even fellow trainees under Luke Skywalker's Jedi training, were possibly an all-female cast? Now, is this a good idea for the current state that the Star Wars franchise is in right now? Surely not. I know a lot of other badass female characters in other franchises that I really enjoy. However, making the Knights of Ren an all-female cast will surely send the wrong signals to the fans that are already upset about the Mary Sue and the other useless female characters. It's almost as if the writers want us to hate the female characters in this saga. It really feels that way. You cast all these big roles that are absolutely pointless, other than Rey, but then again you make her out to be a nobody, a Mary Sue. It just feels like they're being set up for failure. How about this? Make Rey work for her skills. Develop Captain Phasma's story, more so with Finn instead of literally dropping her, and totally rewrite Rose's and Holdo's character, otherwise just to get rid of them. Now, the previous two episodes have surely cemented big roles for females in the Star Wars franchise, and some would say it's almost overbearing. Okay, we get the point now, much like fans got the point when we had an all-female cast in the reboot of Ghostbusters. Yeah, that went over well. Now, the Knights of Ren had been forgotten in the previous episode, The Last Jedi. But not because they aren't important, but because writer-director Rian Johnson felt he needed to focus on the many elements he was already attempting to incorporate into his vision. Now that J.J. Abrams is back at the helm to direct the final episode in this saga, we should expect to see some more action from the Knights of Ren. Not much is known about the Knights of Ren, only that they are obviously close to Kylo and supposedly worked together under Supreme Leader Snoke. We know Snoke's connection to the Knights of Ren because Snoke himself mentions Kylo as the leader of the Knights of Ren in The Force Awakens. I believe J.J. Abrams really wanted to bring out the Knights of Ren in the sequel to this saga, but because of the change in writers and directors, that just didn't happen, and was probably the worst decision ever made in the Star Wars franchise. Switching directors and writers right in the middle of a Star Wars saga doesn't seem like a very bright idea, and it obviously shows with The Last Jedi. We all know Rian Johnson did a terrible job with The Last Jedi, but I think if any other director was in his spot other than J.J. Abrams, it ultimately still wouldn't have been a decent sequel, because none of it would have been planned out like the vision in J.J. Abrams' head. Even if The Force Awakens seemed to be like a washed-out version of A New Hope, at least it was based around a movie we all enjoy, and not something completely made up to subvert our expectations like The Last Jedi did. Am I excited to see the Knights of Ren? Yes. Do we need to know if they're female or male? No. I could care less. I'd rather them actually be just masked and cloaked the entire time, just to keep that mysteriousness going. The same could be said for Kylo keeping his mask on in the first episode. I really think his mask should have stayed on, at least until the sequel or maybe even the final episode in this saga. I believe that decision came down to as, well, we want to respect the actor, so let's show his face, and we need some screen time between him and Han Solo, so it just makes sense. Anyways, guys, let me know how you feel down in the comments below. Is this just another SJW move on Disney? Or is Disney too worried about what's going on in the real world today to put out a decent Star Wars movie that the fans actually want to see? I'm telling you right now, when I go to watch a science fiction movie, the last thing I want to think about is gender equality and animal rights. Now, don't get me wrong, I care about all those things, and they matter, but there's a time and place for everything. When I go to the movies, I just want to see a science fiction movie, I want to see Star Wars, I want to see Jedis fighting the Sith, or any other bad guys. That's just all I want to see. So again, let me know how you guys feel. Is this too much propaganda in today's, or politics in today's movies? Do you agree or disagree? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Do you even care? If you just want to see a regular good old Star Wars movie like I do, hey, like, subscribe, and comment down below.